Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitchin Mommy, and it's Tuesday, February 1st, 2022, so happy February, we made it. I'm a day late because I got COVID, still have it. I am not doing too badly, so I felt like I had enough stamina and lack of coughing to do this today, so hopefully that holds true. My kids are home because of it, so they're in the other rooms. If you hear any loud yelling or craziness, that's why. Smokey can't decide whether or not she wants to be in here with me or in there with them, so she's crying every once in a while from the hallway, so it's the way it's gonna be today. So I did get a good amount of stitching done this past week, so I have some things to share, so let's get started. First off, we have my temperature pieces. My first one is Temperature Wander With Me, which is my cat paws design, and it's the companion piece to Temperature Walk With Me for dogs. And this is the one I'm doing for this year. So I'm working on this every Sunday as I know the temperatures in 5-day increments. So this is Temperature Wander With Me, only one paw more than last time. It's 27 count Linda in Vintage Country Mocha with 1/1 full crosses, and pretty consistently low 70s, high 60s as our highs for every day. There's been a few 50s in there, some of the purpley colors, but hasn't gotten to the lowest 2 colors yet. Hopefully at some point. We're about to round the corner, so next week I think I'll be able to do 2 paws on Sunday, and we can start wandering this way, and I think we'll get near the ball of yarn, which is coming up, so that's fun. Get one more little extra thing in there. And then my other temperature piece that I'm working on this year is my Temperature Butterflies. And this one I decided to stitch retroactively for the year 2002, which is the year we got married. So this will be our 20th anniversary this year. So I'm doing this for the year we got married, so I'm gonna add some blending filament, I think, to the days for our birthdays and our anniversary. So here's where we are at now. This is 32 count, mystery, gray-green, even weave, 1/1 full crosses. It's very tiny. Here's my thumb. Can cover almost a whole wing with my thumb, and my hands are pretty small. So I managed to finish January completely, which is really fun, and get a nice start on February. So yeah, lots of noise out there. So I'm enjoying this. I'm hoping that I can continue keeping up on this. I managed to have some extra time this week to work on it, so that was good. In the ballet line and stuff. I won't have as much ballet line stitching this week because my younger kids are home and my older son is still able to go to school because he's vaccinated. But his pickup line isn't as long, so that's all right. I'll do what I can. This week, I'll go back to my regular travel piece when I do have time. And this is A Year in Stitches by the Victoria Sampler. This was their mystery stitch along last year on their Facebook group, and it's no longer available there, but they will be re-releasing these patterns every month. So January is out now, and it released around the middle of January, so I'd guess February would be released around the middle of February. So you can be looking for that in their creative design section on their website. So I did get a little bit of a start on this. I think I worked on this, I have written down that I finished January since I saw you last, so possibly I might have, it feels like forever since I finished this, but you may not have seen this. So here is January. Maybe do an up and down one this time since I got the border almost all the way across now. So I finished January. This is 28 count Dove Gray Monaco, mostly 2/2 stitches. There will be occasional spots of 1/1, but so far not yet. There will be specialty stitches. So with January, these designs are all pick your own colors. So I have chosen a color palette for the entire year, which hopefully will work well, and I'm adjusting as needed, but fairly close to the cover colors suggested on the cover. The colors suggested on the cover. So I have some specialty stitches in here. This one I chose to make dark blue, and these trees I made greens, which are both slight changes from the cover picture. This center was charted for Jan, Jan for January. There weren't any month markers on any of the other ones, so I was going to chart 2022, which is this year, the year I'm doing it, but it didn't really fit very well. There was no way to do it. I saw some people last year charting 2021, but because the 1 is skinnier than a 2, it worked. It doesn't really work with 2022, with all the letters being full size. So I went ahead and just put my initials in there because there's no other signs to worry about. And then last night, the rest of this past week, I worked on my butterflies in the car, but last night I was able to get a little start on the border for February while we were watching Simpsons. So that was nice. This is almost, I think it's got like 2 or 3 more stitches and then it can come down. So these are not all the same size. January and March will be the same size. February is a little smaller, and they alternate. So these 2 are smaller, small, 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 you know, and then big, big, big. So it's every other, they're big and small. So February will be a little bit smaller than January was. So I'm excited to get started on that today, now that it's February. So, and then whenever February is finished, I'll go back to either butterflies or the Prim Stitch series by the Fat Quarter Shop to get that finished, something like that for my ballet line stitching. But yeah, here are all my colors, and I had fun picking those. None of them are they're all fancy floss from my stash. Some are available now, some are not, depending on where I got them. So I can share a picture, I can share the names, but you may not be able to find them all. I can send a picture to you in Instagram if you really want to see like the layout, and then maybe choose your colors based on that. But I chose for kind of a bright, happy feel, and roughly 2 colors of each, 2 shades of each color, and they kind of go together. So that's what I did. But the point is, I guess, to do it yourself and to pick your own colors. So if you want a more muted look, you know, just pick 2 of each shade that are more muted. And you could totally use DMC. You can use fancy floss from your stash like I did. So however you want to do it. Let's see. The next thing, I guess, is my Hummingbird from Millhill Monday. This got worked on twice since I saw you last, since I worked on it last Monday after my video, and then again yesterday. And it's coming along. I finished the Hummingbird yesterday, so that was nice. So here is where this one is at. And this is on perforated paper, all the called for beads and flosses and everything. Trying to get all the, so there's a lot of beads, white and cream beads in his body, and there's some dark petite beads along here, and then I filled in some of this turquoise around here last time. Maybe not that, I don't know, maybe a little bit of that. I know some of this for sure. And a little bit of this, I think the light green was last week too. So yeah, it's coming along. So I think now the Hummingbird is finished. This flower is finished. So I think it's just background from here down, and then this flower. So everything from that up is done. So that's exciting. Everything got reset for the new year as far as plans go, which I'll go into more detail at the end of the video, but that is one of the pieces that I'm using for the Daily 30 Yearly Challenge. Daily 30 is a closed group on Facebook, and they have a challenge to pick 3 projects to do their challenge with for the year, and when you finish one, you can swap in a new one. But that's one of the ones I'm doing for that challenge because it's one I know I'll likely work on once a week. So it's a good one to get some consistent time on. Let's see. That day for Bringo, I worked on Daisy Girl, and I'll show you. It feels like so long since I saw you last, and a lot has happened. I got a blackout on my Bringo board. So Bringo is a challenge in the Facebook group Magazine Monthly Cross Stitch Challenge, and Bringo was a January event, and they'll have another bingo game in September called AB Singo, but in the meantime they have monthly acrostics, monthly themes, and occasional pop-up events, I'm pretty sure, or weekend events, things like that. So they don't have these month-long big challenges only twice a year. But this was fun, and if you notice, I did actually get this crossed out. So I got a blackout. I couldn't help myself. I think I am a completist, and my son was already like consistently, or had already been asking me, you need to do a magazine new start so you can get a blackout and get all the things. Make sure you are entered into as many finishes as you can. So like that kind of, I don't know. I had a magazine piece that had been like a pass the stash thing. So I went ahead and just started it. So, but that's not for a few days in my plans. So Daisy Girl happened first. So I'll share that first. This one was on Bringo on Monday, and then I worked on it again on Friday just to finish up my WIPGO goal, because WIPGO is a challenge from Jessie Marie Does Stuff here on Flosstube, and I have 2 boards. One board is full coverage and one board is Fancy Ladies or Fancy Lady adjacent projects, and she calls 2 numbers on every month. So this was one of my Fancy Lady calls for the month of January. So, and my goal for all the Fancy Ladies is 3 days. So I needed to do one more day on that. Beyond my Bringo, the 2 times I had plugged it in on my Bringo board. So I needed one more day after Bringo was over. So here we are with this one. This is the cumulative, all the progress that I was able to make on the 3 days. And you'll probably see it after, the before picture will be after 1 day, I think. But I managed to finish all of this brown in her hair under her cap. And she's got some more frilly stuff around here and than her face, which is like the most complicated part of this chart. But I'm working this from the top down, picking colors, so I will probably get to the tricky bits pretty soon. But this may not come out until next year, because I finished my Bringo goal. Not Bringo, WIPGO. I finished my WIPGO goal on that. So, oh yeah, this is 32 count. The same mystery even weave I'm doing my temperature butterflies on, only this is 2/2 instead of the butterflies, which are 1/1. So that was nice to get that done. And then the next Bringo calls were yeah, I guess this was the last Bringo call, was my Celtic Ladies sampler. This was my other WIPGO call on my Fancy Lady board. This is a collage I put together of all the lavender lace seasonal Celtic season ladies. And I focused up here in winter. I already had some of spring done, so then I just started here and was working my way backwards in the letters. So that's all I got done this time. Didn't quite get all the way across in the 3 days I worked on this to get my Whip Go Gold done on that. But I got a decent amount done. And next time it'll be fun to just come through and finish up those letters or work on them a little bit more. So this is on 32 count lamb's wool Jobelin. Just kidding. Lamb's wool linen. It is a stiff, crunchy, see-through witch-oat linen. And as you can see, I worked up here and did these letters. So I still need to finish a little bit of the I and do the W, winter. Yeah, and then I still have the NG in spring as well. So next time I pull this out, I'll probably finish winter and then do like the petite treasure braid around all of them and then put in the beads and then have all those titles across the top finished before working my way down. Because I do like to work from the top down. Even though this is seasonal, I may just work it from the top down at this point. We'll see. That is subject to change because sometimes I like to work on the season for a specific goal of some kind. So, but this is another one I don't know that will come out this year anymore necessarily, since my Whip Go goal has been met. I'll show you my Whip Go boards. I have 2 boards, and this is the Fancy Lady board. So 2 and 19 are both called and met, and then these are the 2 new ones that are called. And then these 2 also I finished 1,000 stitches on each of those, and then the 2 new ones. So haven't done anything yet on these in January or February, but we'll get there. And then because Bringo was officially over, I decided to go ahead and on Wednesday make up that call that was the magazine new start. And I pulled this out of my closet, flowers within a flower. And this is one I won on somebody's channel when they were giving away a magazine chart. I can't remember who it was. And this is from Just Cross Stitch, July, August 2009. So it's a little bit of an older one. And I did like an hour and 15 minutes on this. This is also a lamb's wool linen. I'm trying to think. It looks a little bit different than this, but it might be the same. Anyways, could be the same stuff that the Celtic Ladies is on, but it's a little bit grungier, it kind of looks like, so maybe different kinds of it are grungier. But this is how far I got. I'm doing mine 2/2 on 32 count. Jobelin, not Jobelin, lamb's wool linen. It's another one just like my Daisy Girl that's an older chart. It's called for 28 count with 3 strands. Some of them are blends that are 2 of one color and 1 of another, and I decided nope, I'm doing 32 count with just 2 strands, and then if it calls for a blend, I'll do 1 of each color. So far, no blends, and I've completely finished 2 colors. So it started out with, I think, 3371. There was a little bit right here in the center, and then I did this. And did I go back and finish that? Yeah, I did. After I had the dark purple in, there's a little bit of 3371 here at the tops of these flowers, so I think I went ahead and added that as well. So I've got 2 colors color completed, which is pretty amazing. It's not that big of a design. So you can see the start of it there. And I stitched in a little arrow at the top to remember which way is up. So, because it's not very big, I'm hoping it won't be an obnoxious new start to add to my projects. But I am going to be UFOing a project, and I didn't bring it up because I forgot. But I have a winter tree kit that I was given, and I started it. It's on 11 count pre-printed Aida, and I wanted to try that style of kit because I thought it was interesting. And that's not really why I don't want to work on it. It's more the simplicity of the pattern as compared to the photo. So it's too choppy and not realistic enough compared to what the cover picture looks like. So I think I'm gonna just stop working on that. I might do a giveaway at some point, but I'm not sure yet. So I didn't have the wherewithal to figure that out today. So let's see, more Celtic ladies. Looks like I got back to Knitting Woman on Friday. Wednesday, I believe I did the flowers within a flower start instead of working on Knitting Woman. And then Thursday, I wanted to just do a bunch of Celtic ladies, I guess. I didn't do any bonus stitching, so no Knitting Woman or anything. But I did get back to Knitting Woman on Friday and Saturday and did a little bit on that. So this is my piece I'm trying to finish for my mom. So I did a little bit of this week, couple days. And this is by Golden Kite. There are blends in this one, so I have to use 2 strands. And this is 22 count Aida, 2 over 1 half stitches. And here's where I'm at now. So I'm really enjoying this. It's been a couple days now since I've worked on it, so I'm hoping to get back to this soon. Technically today is Tuesday, so I should work on my temperature butterflies for Temperature Tuesday. But I did work on it yesterday again, so I kind of feel like we're coming back to this again today. So we'll see. I might do my, I don't want to get behind on temperature butterflies, but I really want to get back to this. So I am doing my typewriter method to pick symbols top down, left to right, so it's filling in nicely in her hands and the dress, both of their dresses. So yeah, I'm having fun with that. It's nice to see progress. So hopefully I'll be more consistent this week and get a little bit more done on it this week. Then I went over to grapes. So grapes was my other WhipGo goal piece for January on my full coverage board. And I want to get at least 1,000 stitches on everything when it's called in that month. So this one I had a secondary goal as well to finish all the parked threads, and I didn't make that goal. I was kind of hoping I would, but then I went ahead and worked on sampler of stitches yesterday instead of this. And I went back and forth many times in my head about what I wanted to do. I had 2 choices for what I wanted to work on yesterday, January 31st. I could continue to work on grapes, and there's a slight chance I could get all the parked threads worked in. I had already met my WhipGo goal of 1,000 stitches on Sunday. I didn't need to do that. There's a chance that this won't come out again the rest of the year. So then it was like, well, should I just keep going on it, finish the parked threads, and then put it away? But there's also a chance I wasn't going to get all the parked threads done on Monday because there's just only so much time in the day. So I thought, well, I'm not sure. And then sampler of stitches, I'm behind because of Bringo, and I will be bringing it out every month, but I'm behind and I don't want to get that far behind. So I decided to go ahead and do sampler of stitches on Monday, yesterday, just because I felt like it, and I didn't want to get behind. And I know I had kind of gotten tired, or I was a little discouraged with grapes because it was going well. I was getting in a lot of parked threads, but they were taking a long time to stitch in, and I was not optimistic that I could get all of them finished in that one day. So I figured, you know what, rather than stress about it, let's get caught up on sampler of stitches. So I will make a note on this one to maybe come back to it later this year, even though my Whip Go goal is met, to maybe come back and fill in the park threads, because I think I will enjoy this a lot more once the park threads are gone, and I can just start filling it in the way I like to now. So here is this one. This is on 18 count Fiddler's Ada with 2 strands over 1 square. And overall, I got 1,146 stitches in the month of January. So that was these 2 days here at the end of the month, and then one other day that I used for Bringo earlier in the month, I think. So you can kind of see the different shapes of the fruits and things and the leaves, which is why I want to get rid of these so you can see that stuff better. So a lot of this, all the part threads in this area are gone, which is really nice. So just a few left, but they're long. So I knew it was going to take a little while, and I didn't necessarily know if I'd have the chance. So February is a short month. I won't have time to do it in February, but possibly later in the year, if I finish some other goals, you know, I could bring this one out and try to finish that up. Because if I get this, this is at like not quite 50%. So this is likely my next full coverage finish, because it is probably the farthest along and fewest amount of stitches to get there. So, but I don't know that for sure. It does feel like it's the farthest along. So if I were inclined to do 23,000 stitches in 2023 next year, if there is such a thing in full coverage phonetics, that one would get really close to a finish with 23,000. So I think it will probably need, if I don't do any more on it, I think it needs like 27,000 maybe to finish, which is still a lot of stitches. But it's possible, I think, if I wanted to, or I could have a 2-year goal, 2-year plan or something. I don't want to burn out on it because I do like it, but I think having those park threads gone and being able to just work on it the way I've currently come to enjoy full coverage pieces, I think will make it more enjoyable to pick up. Because it is nice not having to go pull threads, because the threads are already there, started, but I want to be able to fill in as I go, rather than just kind of pick from the park threads that are kind of all over, and I'm leaving holes as I go. So it's a little less ideal, but it is nice to get them worked in. And I got a bunch of them worked in, just not completely. So it's good, just not all the way. And then yesterday, let's see. Yeah, and yesterday I worked on Sampler of Stitches, which is the piece I'm working on. I started a sow and I'm behind. This is by the Drawn Thread, and I would like to finish this year by doing roughly 1 letter every 2 weeks. And I only got the letter A done in January, so it's really, and I should have had A, B, and C. So I wanted to try to get caught up. So I plugged this in for 2 days in February, but I will probably need a little bit more than that. So I'm gonna maybe have it be some bonus stitching once in a while, where I work on it a little bit in the afternoon and then move on to my main piece for that day. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But yesterday I worked on the B, which I'll show you closer. This is the single chart that I'm working on right now. So this is the B section, and I got it mostly done yesterday, so that was cool. Got all of this stuff done, most of the basket, and a good start on the letter itself. So this is a call for stuff that I received as a gift, and so this is 30 count. I need it, haven't memorized it yet. 30 count custard cream linen with the called for MPIs. which are very slippery. I'm not used to silk. You have to anchor it better because it's very slippery. So here is where I'm at now. 1/2, even on 30 count, is what was called for. So all my X's are very airy, which is definitely not how I'm used to stitching, but it works for this piece. So back stitch, Bosnia stitch, buttonhole stitch, basket stitch, and there will be some beads and another stitch around the beads and then another stitch along the bottom here, which I don't remember what those ones are called at the moment. This bee will be all cross stitched. So got the button added as well, and there's some beads. The charts do come with whatever embellishments are needed when you buy them on the Drawn Thread website. So yeah, I thought that's decent for one day. I kind of worked a lot on that. So I'm happy for that. This is another one that I have set up along with Knitting Woman for the Daily 30 challenge for the working on faithfully all year long. So because they're things, Hummingbird, Sampler of Stitches, and Knitting Woman likely will get work every month regardless of what my other plans are. So that's why I picked those three, because I want to keep up on them. So that's nice. I got that at a better place at the end of the month. So let me see. Yeah, I'm thinking going forward I don't know. I do still need to work on Knitting Woman, so I don't know. But sometimes on the weekends I do have a little extra stitching time. So if I feel like I have extra stitching time on some weekend days, I might do a little bit of Knitting Woman and a little bit of Sampler of Stitches, just to keep plugging away on that and make sure I don't get too far behind. So going forward, plans. I planned yesterday and today. So I listed out all the things I want to work on in February, with including travel stitching and the temperature piece stitching, which are technically shop models, so they don't necessarily count, along with a few random bits down here that were maybes. And February is a short month, so I knew I wasn't going to get to everything. As it is, I didn't work on Simpsons at all, and a lot of these Knitting Woman I will do bonus stitching many times, but it's not going to get a full day. And then these are all travel stitching or whatnot, so they're not getting, all these check marks indicate days that I'm going to give it like my main stitching time that day. So I went ahead and managed to get Winter Wonderland band sampler one day, which is my chatelaine, but not the cross, so maybe that'll come out another time. But because I do have in the back of my planner a list of all the rest of my whips that are not on my whip go board, and I want to be able to check all of them off by the end of the year. So if something didn't get called or didn't get worked on at any point, I'll be taking note of this and see which ones would I want to try to work on in that month, along with some new starts. And those are things I actually have started, so that list will grow. And then one finished, the Cozy Cafe Clip. So anyways, going forward into February, I have my whips listed. I have Daily 30 with their animals that we're finding with these 3 particular projects I told you about. I'm also in a group, Stitch Into the Wild, and we're finding animals in that one too. These have prompts for all the animals to work on specific things. So once I had figured out what I was going to work on in February, I went ahead this morning and figured out which projects are going to go to find all those things, all the animals and things. And then also something in February that I will be doing is Stitch the Winter Olympics, which starts Friday. So this goes from this Friday until the 20th. So it's not the whole month, but on these days. And I tried where I could to do 2 or 3 days in a row if I wanted more than one day on a project, but it didn't always fit with the projects, with the prompts. So there's a few things where I wanted to work 3 days on it, so I gave it, but I only could fit 2 together in the challenge prompts. So they get a bonus day after the 20th in order to like meet the whip go goal or whatever on that piece. This week I will probably only work on 2 main pieces because there's 3 days until the Olympics start, today, tomorrow, and Thursday, and then they start on Friday. So I figured that's a perfect 3-day chunk to throw in one of my fancy ladies from my whip go board. So I decided to work on Garden Prelude, which is one of the draws for February, and this is by Mirabilia. And so I'll give this 3 days in a row here at the beginning of February, which is really fun. This is one I subbed in some fancy floss from my stash instead of the Karen Water Lilies silk that they called for, because it's just in the flowers. I didn't figure it needed to be too particular. So this one is on, I believe, Wedgwood 32 count Lugana by Color and Cotton. It's a nice gray blue, and I have the whole archways across. I can't remember. I think there's a dark color right here, but I think the rest of the arches might be done. So I'll probably finish this dark one and see if there's any more in this part of the pedestals, and do a little bit of that and then move on to more of her. So I'm hoping over 3 days I'll be able to do a little bit of everything, some background and some lady. So this is my starting point on her. And then the first 3 prompts of the Olympics, one of them is the first one is a new start or something that you started in 2022. I'm going to go ahead and hopefully start Winter Montage by Pain Free Crafts, artwork by Janet Stieber with Kat. We're hoping to start this on Friday, and I'm going to also plug it in for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday's Olympics challenge is something related to winter, and then Sundays is stitch something with the color from the Olympic rings, so I could hopefully by that time get to the greens and maybe even the reds, which are colors from the Olympic flag. And my fabric hasn't shipped yet, so I'm getting a little nervous. I do have some 28 count even weave from Hobby Lobby that should be fine to start this on. I have some 28 count mushroom Lugana on order, and it's taking its sweet time. So I was hoping they could all be on the same thing, but I do really want to start this month with Kat, and this is the ideal day to do it because the prompt is new start. So the other 3 I'm planning to start on a 3-day weekend near the first of that season. So March's is already planned to start Spring Montage on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. So that's my plan for this one. So that's hopefully probably the only 2 main pieces you'll see work on when I come back. So that'll be in addition to Knitting Woman and Hummingbird and travel stitching and all of that kind of stuff. And we'll see if I can also throw in some sampler stitches here and there to get a little bit farther on that one. So with that, I hear the gardeners are showing up and it's going to start getting noisy, and I think I've shared everything that I need to share. I will go ahead and share my other projects. Oh yeah, my other whip go, I'll share you now, my whip go goals. I didn't bring the actual pieces, but I also drew Lady of the Mist for my other whip go lady. And then my whip go full coverages are mini bear time stories, which is going to be fun to work on. And what's the other one? Oh, the love letter. Gotta be quick. And the love letter. So I'm hoping to get, like, I scheduled all of those for 3 days. So I'm hoping on the 3 days that those 2 full coverages, I'll be able to get 1,000 stitches on those. They're both half stitch projects, so I'm hoping that'll be enough time. And with that, I will leave you and hopefully see you next week. Happy stitching. Bye.